I went crayfishing in this dam when we first moved here. I was only 12 years old. Dad got the job as regional manager for BP, and Mum worked in the office at the fuel depot. We built the family home, this Queenslander, on the floodplain at 3A Lovell Street, on 4 acres in the middle of town, and we loved it. Me and my younger brothers, Matthew and Russell. Cricket in the summer, rugby league in the winter, squash, basketball, motorbikes and crayfishing. Not once did we sit in the house playing computer games. What I most fondly remember about growing up here was the freedom. That, the mateship, and being able to dream. We played for Roma Cities, the Gladiators, here at Beatson Oval. I never saw Arthur play, but when Willie Kahn went from Roma to make his name at the Broncos, I remember thinking he was the first famous person I knew. At school, we'd talk all week about playing footy on the weekend. Everyone dreams, but you don't think those dreams will ever come true. You just hope. I had a jumper with Wally Lewis's name on the back, and I'd wear it playing against my brothers. Call out his name, Lewis, the King. Anyway, I made the Queensland under-12s and we played New South Wales. The third time was at Lane Park, a curtain raiser, to a big Broncos Parramatta match. That's another of my great memories, because 6 years later, I was playing for the Broncos against the Eels, with the famous Willie Kahn, now my teammate. Everything just sort of exploded from there.
Lockyer's away! Lockyer's got Berrigan with him! Lockyer's got the pedal down! Lockyer scores the first try! Oh, intercepted by Lockyer! He scored! Oh, no! They can't take that off him! They won't take that off him!
Through this game, I've been able to live a life that as a boy I could barely dare to imagine. It's truly humbling. I played my last game in my last ever year of playing rugby league. And I'm glad it's back here at the old Lane Park, 479 kilometres as the crow flies east of Beatson Oval. At times, it seems a world away. But only at times.
And welcome back to Suncorp Stadium after watching that beautiful story that went to air during the year, in fact, simultaneously with Darren's retirement from Origin football. Well, this is the real tribute to him today. The Broncos, of course, they lose control of the match at Suncorp after today. It becomes the NRL's final series, but look at them. There's 52, maybe 53,000 people here today to wave farewell to Darren Lockyer. And yes, it probably has happened before, some of these scenes that you're watching, but that's the way it's going to be when you farewell a legend, an icon, and soon to become an immortal. And just to take some of the things from what Darren said, dreams, it's great to dream. Sometimes they can come true, and for Darren Lockyer they did. He wore number 35 on debut. He's the hero to many, as Willie Kahn and Arthur Beatson and Wally Lewis were heroes of his. Down the Warrego Highway to the BP station many, many years ago. The kid who debuted back in 1995 against Parramatta. And there he is, Darren Lockyer. The boys have spent their time talking about him today. But I've got to tell you that he's one of the gentlemen of rugby league and one of the best players I've ever seen. Certainly up in my top 5, for what it's worth.
And as a very young man in Roma, started out as a speedy centre, 3/4, and was an apprentice carpenter. He's come a long way.
Down in the Dressing room there for the Broncos. They'll form a guard of honour for him when he goes out. They've played 600 games exactly since they joined the competition in 1988, along with Newcastle and Gold Coast Giants. And 189 players have represented the Broncos as Jamie Lyon takes the Manly Sea Eagles out, going for their 5th straight win. They've won 5 of their last 6 matches against the Broncos, including their most recent here in round 12, when Brisbane rested Lockyer and Thaiday. It's still a strong side. I know they're down on troops. It would be to understate the situation for Manly, but it's still strong. When you've got people like George Rose and Tony Williams on the bench, what a day for him. Jamie Buhrer, the 21-year-old, in the run-on side today, a junior from Hills Bulls in Sydney. He lines up against Darren Lockyer. So the guard of honour's in place. Darren Lockyer is at the head of the parade of players. Flanked there by a couple of the youngsters, and on to the ground to be greeted by a crowd of in the vicinity of 53,000 people. Magnificent stadium. They'll see him here again, of course, next weekend. And of course, we'll see him through the final series beyond that point in time, one would hope. And then, of course, at Newcastle on the 16th of October, when he will lead the Kangaroos in that match against the Kiwis down at Osgood. Saluting the crowd down at the Caxton Street end of the ground. Joe Baxwell and Adam Devsic are in charge of this game. Last day of football before we go into the new competition known as the finals. And Cherry Evans kicks off Sunday afternoon football live from Brisbane. And Ben Hannett goes back to a reception from Brent Kite and Joe Nullival. 2 of the front rows for Manly, and Sam Thaiday takes it beyond the 20-metre line. The last regular season game to be played by Darren Lockyer. And now for Josh Maguire, the 21-year-old, up in the front row for Brisbane. And McCulloch, also 21, the number 9, giving the ball to Corey Parker. So the ball with Brisbane as they come to the halfway line, and Lockyer spins and tries to go through the Manly right side defence, but Cherry Evans shut it down. And then Peter Wallace gets a kick in. He left the ground to kick. The actual tackler stayed on the ground. And Robertson at custodian today. He will play the ball 18 metres out from his own line. This is Faray, the youngster that's in the side for William Hopewate, who scored 3 tries in debut last year against North Queensland. Hasn't played top grade this year. Brent Kite now with the ball for Manly. He'll play it just outside the 30-metre line. He's gone away to the back row forward, Vic Morrow. He will play the ball just inside the 40-metre line. League on a Sunday afternoon, live on Channel 9. And that's Buhrer with his first touch, and reeling out of the tackle was McCulloch. He might have just picked up an accidental boot in the head, I think. This is the winger Beale, and he comes back, and he'll play the ball inside the 30-metre line.
Yeah, no mistakes from either side so far, and a kick out of dummy half there by Matt Ballin. We may see a bit more of that this afternoon with no Kieran Foran as an option kicker, just to take a little bit of pressure off the number 7, Cherry Evans, as the Broncos now 4th tackle through Corey Parker, take it over halfway.
Parker taken in a 3-man Manly tackle, with Ballin coming over the top of Morrow, and away goes McCulloch and giving the ball away to Hannant, and he's met by Kite and Shane Rodney, and they're down the middle of the ground, Brisbane. They're just outside the 30-metre line, and Peter Wallace puts a kick in. The chasers are onside. There's one being felled in back play. It was Reid. It's play on for Manly. Robertson played the ball just out from his own line. Cherry Evans will play it this time.
Get up now! Sam White, Sam White!
Brisbane, they need to win this by something like 43 to displace Manly from number 2
It's going to be a long week for these Manly players, isn't it? When you consider last weekend, they played against Melbourne Storm at home in front of a tribal and parochial home crowd. Now they walk into one where everyone is against them. Big difference in the space of 7 days.
Cherry Evans then driving it down. Ooh, it's a very good pickup by Hoffman. That ball is doing some funny things, but Hoffman will play the ball near halfway.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had to attack it as seriously as he did. He got the ball in the end. Jared Beale now tackled, but when he came up, he stopped, steadied himself, so a good job done.
Now the 11 is Alex Glenn, and he'll play the ball 35 metres away from Manly's line, playing the ball back for young McCulloch, and McCulloch goes away a few paces before he links up with Maguire. Incredible the difference in age between the Manly and Brisbane front row, as Lockyer goes short and picks up Ben Hannant running just off his right hip. So Brisbane with Hannant a little bit slow to get up. McCulloch rolls the ball in gently, and then it's batted over the side, over the dead ball line there by Oldfield.
That's nice play from McCulloch, because his captain was to his left calling the ball, but he runs away from him. And they're the sorts of little plays that show maturity in a player. And it's what you need from your playmakers. Look at that. Lockyer's on the left calling for the ball. It's last play, but he chooses to go himself down a short blind side, feathers the ball into the in goal and gets a restart for his team. That's a great sign from a young player, particularly on the eve of finals football. You need everyone competing.
Cherry Evans from the Milton end of the ground, the southern end, kicking down to halfway for Hannant to be sent back by Lockyer. And he's wrapped up by Morrow. Kite will probably get a tick alongside his name, but I don't think Brent really would expect to take it as a tackle. Now it's Maguire. And he'll play the ball in the middle of the ground. They're 20 metres out. McCulloch again goes short, away to Parker. Parker will play the ball. 11 out. And another tackle being put alongside the name of Morrow. He's doing good work. Maguire then had Hannant running with him, taking some heat away from him. But he'll play the ball 2 metres out from the line. So immediately we see Manly under pressure. And it goes to McCulloch and goes away to Wallace. There was a decoy run, went round behind one of his own. It's a penalty. No need to go upstairs for inspection. Maxwell's right arm went up in the direction of Manly.
No, easy one there for the officials to adjudicate on. Decoy going through and Peter Wallace going straight in behind him. Daly Cherry Evans might have made a bad decision, but he shouldn't have had to have made that.
No, you can't do that. Can't run behind your teammate like that.
And just to explain that differential that Ray was talking about, coming into this game, Brisbane are 85 points behind Manly. With a win, they would join them on the same competition points. But with it being 85 points, obviously, if they score one, the opposition concede one. So that's why it comes down to 43. It halves it. But it is still, it would be quite an achievement.
Played then by Joe Nullivar. And now it's Morrow that rolls it up. Why are you talking very English today, Gus? That didn't go past my observation. Here's Nullivar. See, Gus has gone off to another planet for a moment. Here's Morrow with the ball. You'll probably find Brad Fittler out there on the same planet. So it'll probably get through to him shortly. But here's the kick by Cherry Evans. Very, very, very high. And players felled in background. Line went down. Hoffman comes away.
Great take.
Hoffman to play the ball. What's that?
Great take. That's a wonderful take.
Reed.
Watch this, Rabbits. Good one. And came out of it with legs pumping, ready to run.
McCulloch now across the face and to Wallace and then on to Lockyer, and Lockyer goes, oh, he's given it to Yao Yi. Yao Yi's got the fullback to beat Robertson. Did very, very well.
It was a wonderful pass, but a great line run from Yao Yi to catch Michael Oldfield out as they go wide to the left. Corey Parker felled inside the 30.
Exactly what you'd expect from a well-drilled team. They had busted them, then they spread it quickly to the left side. Now the kick at the back end. Yao Yi gets it away. It's come off Brisbane. It's Manly's ball if there's an advantage there. And it's with Michael Oldfield. So Yao Yi was in open space.
Yeah, but look at the line run. You see Michael Alford, he's drifting across, and he was completely taken by surprise. Man on his inside helped Sam Thaiday. The line he ran as well as Matt Eyes out of dummy half.
Played by Stephen Matai, and then Cherry Evans using Shane Rodney, and Rodney will play it on the halfway line, taken by McCulloch. Manly attack, and Cherry Evans boots it over the sideline in front of the Eastern Stand patrons. We'll take a break. It's 0-0 at the moment. No score in this game. Very early stages of Brisbane versus Manly. Manly crossing the line at the end of the season. It would seem in number 2, Brisbane in number 3. And Hammond it is who will play the ball on the 30-metre line. And if things remain the same, and it almost seems certainly will, it'll be Brisbane versus Warriors next weekend on the Saturday night. And Manly will play the Cowboys. This is Maguire. And it's a never-say-die run by Maguire. Gritty. As it goes blindside, the Lockyer that generates some play down there. And Teo, with his right arm, heavily bandaged after that break. And now Lockyer gets it off his left foot and rakes it back. And it bounces down in the corner. Yao Yi bats it back. It came off Bureau, went back to Broncos. Now it's gone to Watmo for Manly. He'll play the ball, and he does so, and he plays it quickly, and then put down as Oldfield. They appeal for a penalty, and they get it. Manly a penalty.
Well, that kick got Lockyer a bounce, didn't it? Anyone else probably bounces and goes out into the crowd, but Yao Yi was managed to keep it back in field, and it looked dangerous for a fleeting second until the ball ended up in Manly's hands through Watmo, and he draws a penalty. Wonderful atmosphere here. Gee whiz.
There's no better place to work. Oh, he's failed to find touch. And Hoffman takes it away for Brisbane. Hoffman over the halfway line. He tries to splice through between Jamie Lyon and Shane Rodney.
Well, Anthony Griffin will think that is justice. You saw his reaction to the penalty. He thought Sam Thaiday, the man penalised, was actually at marker in time.
Played by Parker. Back to the right, and it's gone with Hannant. And Hannant runs into Joe Nullivan together with Vic Morrow. So Brisbane back on the attack again in the finals for the 20th time in 24 seasons. Haven't been in the top 4 since 06 when they won the competition. Here is McCulloch away to Wallace. Wallace decides to come off his left foot and have a go, but Brent Kite sliding in defence makes the tackle. 3 metres out, away from Glenn in 11 to Parker in 13, and had he been able to just get that ball away, Hannant was under the black dot.
I think you've got to take your hat off to Manly here at the moment. I mean, they're in a very hostile environment. Broncos have had all the field position, the better possession, and whilst they look likely, Manly keep coming up with the tackles. So they're definitely here to play. There's a sense of desperation about the Sea Eagles.
Oldfield then running behind a Watmo decoy, and now it's Ballon who goes back to the middle for Nullivan to drive it up with Parker and Maguire.
That's a good run.
He was heavily concussed in that game the other night. He's back today, and he's up in the engine room, taking that spot vacated by Jason King. Shane Rodney. I was talking to Jason this afternoon. He comes out of the brace tomorrow. But his season, of course, is over. The co-captain from Manly. And Cherry Evans puts it down the ground into the arms of this very, very good... Oh, is he limping? Yes, he is. He's got an ankle problem.
Something happened there.
What's going wrong with Hoffman?
He's grimacing too. He doesn't like it at all. Now, I don't know whether he had it before he caught it. He seems all right. Just there, yeah, he did it. When he went back to catch that ball, he didn't like how he landed. He limped his way up, and now the trainers are with him. He didn't fancy that too much at all. I think he's coming off.
Straight off.
This could be massive.
So it's played by Maguire and gone to Glenn, and Glenn goes straight up the middle. And he's taken by Ballon and Nullival as Hoffman gets close to the sideline. That'll put Matt Gillette into the game. The ball will bounce down here. Will it? No. Robertson takes it on the full and Reed makes the tackle with Wallace.
Yeah, it's a wonderful kick and a great take, and it's a sad sight. Josh Hoffman, exciting young player, leaving the field. Now Matt Gillette comes onto the field, and that will push Jared Beale back into the fullback position. We've seen Matt Gillette play plenty of centre in his shortish time in the top grade.
So Manly plug away down that blind side. Played over there by Shane Rodney, and here they are coming back with Watmo now.
I wonder what Yao Yi did. I hope it's not a knee ligament. Hoffman, sorry. I wonder what Hoffman did.
Here's Jared Beale, who's immediately back to full back. Let's pick it up from another angle, see if it tells us something.
Well, yeah, he just jarred down on that right knee, I reckon. Now, well, I won't say anything because I don't want it to be bad for him.
You can see it's his right knee that's the problem, as McCulloch gives off a short ball for Friday, and San, who will have the C next to his name next year, will play the ball 30 metres out. And here's McCulloch going away to Lockyer on the right side for Brisbane. Yao Yi is flying, but Robertson is doing his job well back at fullback.
He's holding me back there. Take it when you're ready.
It was an interesting play there by Lockyer. I think what he's saying to the Manly defenders, don't come rushing up too quickly because I will kick. I think the last couple of times he's come this way, he didn't like what he saw. So he thought, I'll just put one in behind to get you thinking twice about rushing up on me. And he'll wait for them to hang back next time and then look for his cut-out pass.
Rodney with the ball just outside his own 20 metres.
And just looking at the work there, Michael Robertson. What a wonderful player he's been. Cherry Evans.
Chance here down the right side, back on the inside, Cherry Evans. Farray was the man that threw that ball. Lion dummy half, Ballon first, second is Nullival, as Manly bring it back towards the centre. Sorry, Pete, 31 out.
No, we'll watch the Manly attack.
So it's from Ballon now over to Bura and the young 21-year-old. As I said, what a day for him. He's opposing one of the greatest ever in his farewell regular season game. Product of Blacktown Patrician Brothers, I think it is. And Cherry Evans puts a kick up, and Reed is up and down comes the ball. Beale tries to get it away. He's going knock on Manly.
We'll come out to the 20. They'll come out to the 20 here. That's good football by Manly. They're lacking playmakers. I mean, a lot falls on the head of Cherry Evans, but they've moved the ball nicely and they've got through the difficult period. When you play in front of a big crowd on an emotional occasion like this.
Hang on, Lockie's just got a bit of friendly fire here. The legs swing around and decked him. He's back up. Sorry, Gus.
He's okay. He'll rub it off. Yeah, when you come into an environment like this, you can get blown away early. Well, they've got through nearly 17 minutes now at 0-0. That's a good result for the visitors.
Friday. And Ballon wrapping himself up around the neck area of Friday. Lockyer spins, does 180, back for Friday, draws the defence before passing to Hannant, and Hannant is tackled inside 30. Injury update in a moment from Wally. I'll just stay with this. 0-0, Broncos attack as Lockyer goes across with his left foot into that corner again. Oldfield's lost it. It's gone to ground, picked up by Wallace. Wallace got the ball away. Yao Yi was there. Yao Yi goes to ground. There's the line. Penalty goes Brisbane. Maxwell penalises. Jamie Bura.
Tap and run.
Tap and run for McCulloch, and he's run at Watmo. Did he get it down? Well, looking at Corey Parker, he did. Young McCulloch thinks he's got it down, and so does Parker.
Yeah, nodded the head there. He looks pumped up. Caught them by surprise there. Michael Oldfield turned around with the kick and down it went. Then McCulloch didn't give the opposition defence time to get up off their line. They tried to turn him late, but they didn't do it quickly enough. I think the point of the ball touches the ground there whilst he's in possession.
I'm happy with that, and I'm really happy for the kid too. Pointed out earlier on today where he went himself on 5th tackle, put a little grubber kick in, ran away from his captain, and here he's taken the initiative again. Quick tap, just burrowed his way straight at the line. That's a try right there.
That's his first of the year.
Well, it's a good time to be doing these sort of things.
In fact, I don't think the front row you're watching today has scored a try between them until now. Young McCulloch has gone in. So this will be a try. It is, and we'll take a break from Suncorp Rugby League Live on a Sunday afternoon. Yes, young McCulloch, he's a good kid. He's 21. Maguire is 21. Anderson is 25. They hadn't scored a try between the three of them this year. McCulloch has broken his duck. Anderson has played in a couple of grand finals. He's never scored a try, I think, in the top grade.
He's always been a good young player as McCulloch. The only criticism I had early in his career was the amount of dummies he threw. Well, now he's becoming a bit more select and he's more unpredictable as Parker strikes it and pushes it left.
Just missed it on the right side. Now, Wally, you've got an injury update, I guess, on the fullback, Hoffman.
Yeah, Josh Hoffman. There's some concern there. Originally, they thought it was cartilage damage. Here's where it happened originally. He really took off, showed some real pain in the leg there. He got to his feet, and just a minute or so later, he had to turn and try and take off, and you could see that there was some distress. He knew he was in a little bit of trouble. Early thoughts were that it was just cartilage, but now it may be ligament damage. We don't think we'll see him for the rest of the afternoon.
Hannant, Ben rolling it back up the ground because he'll be joined by Petro next year up in the engine room.
That's what I feared about that Hoffman injury. You know, sometimes those ligaments, it can look so simple but cause a lot of damage, and that didn't look good.
It doesn't help Brisbane's quest for the title, losing a player of his proportions, because as I said in commentary, he's a young man, I think, heading for special places. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. Not in regard to Hoffman. And here is Lockyer now with a high kick. Robertson back there. I was about to say in midair, gee, he's been good, Michael Robertson. I thought, no, don't say that about him. Not now.
Yeah, I was giving him a rap earlier before they had a half break down that right-hand side. Just a great buy from Canberra. Durable. I think strung together 150, 160 games in a row. And he's been forced to deputise at fullback in the absence of Brett Stewart a fair bit over the last season and a half. And he's just done it so professionally.
This is Oldfield. 6 tries in 11 first-grade appearances this season for Michael Oldfield. I said when we saw them come out, you know, with Rose and Williams on the bench, and I'm not being disrespectful to CU or Robinson, but gee, I'll tell you what, it just indicates how strong this Manly club is this year. Can they weather the storm and get through to the grand final? That's the big question. And this is Yao Yi with the ball. I mentioned that I thought Iwate would probably be there for the best winger of the year with the Dally M's this week, and that's a good piece of work there by Teo. Then Lockyer, then Thaiday. Thaiday wrestling there with the 19, which is Robinson for Manly. Yao Yi, of course, now that I see him, he'll be in that contest, won't he? Right up to his ears. And now the 11 is Alex Glenn. He'll play the ball just outside the 30-metre line, playing it back to McCulloch, who goes away to Hannant, to Wallace, and Wallace to Maguire, and Maguire steps. Buehrer couldn't get him. Got the ball to Thaiday. Oldfield makes the tackle. Quick play the ball. Brisbane know they've got them stretched. The pass is bad. Went back off Lockyer. Came down to Teo. Teo stands, unloads, gets the ball away. Beale, Lockyer, Parker. Parker going for the line. Parker not over. Put the ball back, hoping for one of his to get it, but it's Robertson who came up with it for Manly.
That's desperate defence. Really desperate defence. Watch the white jerseys join in here when Lockyer puts Parker through the hole. Looks certain to get there. Bang, 1, 2, 3, 4. They come from everywhere to keep him at bay.
Matai. there he is out there now, Tony Williams. Tim Robinson on for Matt Ballon.
No, that's Ballon there going forward now, Ray.
Yeah, I understand that. I was looking at the screen and I thought to myself, no, Matt Ballon wouldn't be coming off. So just a little gremlin there, I apologise for. Played there by Kite. Robinson scoops it away. Whitemore's with the ball. Here's Rodney with a juggle and then a break. And Cherry Evans is inside 20. Got it to Robinson. No knock on. Came off the leg. That's a kick. And then grounded in goal is Gillette.
He just had a look on his inside daily, Cherry Evans, and saw that it was Tim Robinson. He was hoping for someone quicker. And when he looked the other side and came back to Robinson, it just threw his pass out. There he is, look, and down it goes. Lovely work from Robinson, realising that he could put it on his boot. But he was hoping that was going to be Robertson, not Robinson. And the fullback does a great job to nail Matt Gillette.
So Darren from underneath his own uprights, and it's gone more than 50 to Bura. Now for Watmo. That's a long run back to be met by the defence line.
Go on, Ben.
Just outside the 30. He's come up with no football. Penalty Manly. Penalty Manly. Straight up the middle. Just outside 30. They don't kick for touch. They take a quick tap.
Yeah, this is their best chance. It's the first time they've really started the set of 6 this close to the Broncos line.
Ballon's still there, I repeat. Bura went through. Robinson is with the ball. He'll play it back for Ballon to go right side. For Cherry Evans, right foot step, then left foot step. And Hannant in a desperate tackle around the boots. And Maguire. Ballon goes away. Robinson gets it on. Now it's with Rodney. And Rodney struggling to get the arms free. But Glenn locks them up against the torso. Ballon away. It's bounced twice, 3 times for Robertson to pick it up. And he's gone away. The jolt of the tackle sees the ball back. It's play on Manly. Robinson gets it back to Kite. Watmo saying 6 more, sir. The referee agrees with him. Dead set. It's gone right side. Lyon is with the ball. Taken by Wallace. 7 metres out from the Brisbane line. Ballon dumping half away to Rodney now. And Rodney does a little bit of a dance step as he goes up to the defence again. They're inside the 10 metres. Now it's with Cherry Evans working on that line. Williams is with the ball, and he goes to ground under the weight of defence from Lockyer and Hannant. Played by Tony Williams. Ballon goes away, but it's bounced down to Wallace. Wallace looking to spread it, but he can't. And he'll play at 11 out from his own line.
Yeah, all over the place there, the Manly attack, and that's where they miss the presence of a Glenn Stewart to settle things down, and a Kieran Foran, obviously. Their playmakers inside that 20. It was just all a bit haphazard, didn't quite know where they were going, what they were doing, which is understandable. Those players out as a penalty. They'll play the ball infringement. Gets Brisbane out.
Wayne Bennett with his son Justin next to him. His wife, the daughter, with him. I was talking to him earlier today, Wayne. He was full of praise for the performance by the Dragons, and he didn't fail to recognise the pluckiness of the Panthers. Big George is about to come on. Gorgeous George is about to come into the game. The boy from Bathurst.
You just play the ball, Josh.
Played by Maguire.
Oh, he's moved.
Hunt, over it goes to Parker. And Parker's inside the 20-metre line. He junior football with Bathurst Penguins. Where would they get a name like that from for a team from Bathurst? 15 away from the Manly line. Hunter's got the ball. Now that might have come off Parker's hand and gone to ground. Wallace is with it now. He got it away. It's back to Parker. And it's gone into the in goal. And Farray is going to take it dead.
This crowd's terrific, isn't it? Don't they love their Sunday football up here in Queensland? They don't get many of them, but they've turned out in big numbers today. I see too that the Brisbane Broncos are offering shares to their fans. You can buy shares in the Brisbane Broncos. I think they're selling them in $1,000 lots, but it's a unique opportunity. I mean, the Brisbane Broncos are the only public company in our competition, but it's a great opportunity for fans to buy a share of their favourite team if they so wish.
I might buy some shares in the Brisbane Broncos, because the ones I've got are going absolutely like a busted at the moment. So Another one we might buy a few of if my financial base listening. Now Maguire it is who plays the ball. Hunt it is who's on. This fellow's on as well, Anderson. They came on for Hannand and McCulloch. And here is Hunt now asking a question. Throws a big dummy to Maguire. Who played the ball 5 metres away. And it's played back for Fide, and it's gone away to Maguire and gone on to Lockyer and gone back to Wallace and then back to Lockyer, and he's been picked up by Ballon. Ball to be played there. He's forced down. He's given a penalty.
You got your hand on the ball and you're pushing back now.
I was about to say he might have given a penalty here, Ballon, and he has.
Yeah, he just went too far. I think he wanted to let go as tap taken again in front of the post. Corey Parker keeping the pressure on.
To give 2 points if they wanted to take it. Here's Hunt, and Hunt comes across. He's quite elusive.
Get off him.
And you play the ball inside the 10-metre line. Maguire gets it on to Wallace, and Wallace away to Glenn. And Glenn will play it there. Tackled over there by Rodney and Cherry Evans. Hunt is the dummy half, and now it's with Wallace. Then Lockyer, Fide outside him. Beale comes up from full-back.
Come on, George.
And Beale will play. 7 away. Hunt again. Across Anderson's face to the other prop, Maguire. And Maguire will play it on 5. They're only a metre away. They've gone back to Wallace deep. He puts a kick across looking for the flyer. He's found the flyer. Oh, yes. He's a pilot. That's how good he is. Yao Yi.
Oh, that's better than good.
Captain Yao Yi.
That is much better than good. It looked, for all intents and purposes, that the kick was going over the sideline or going to be too difficult for Gerard Yao Yi to pluck out of the air. But what about this move? A flat kick from Peter Wallace. Yao Yi, hands above his head, swivels around, turns out, made difficult look very easy.
Well, there he is, one of the game's young and brilliant players. Gerard Yao Yi. That's his 13th try for the year. It's his 30th try of his career, which has been quite brief. He's averaging about 15 tries a year. Parker from the sideline.
Quite brilliant, wasn't it? Really just stunning. Just brilliant.
Parker from the touchline, 24 out. And this one's missed again. So he's just taken a bit of paintwork off the other one, and now he's done the same with the other one on the wrong side of the post. Sideline Wally. Yes,
well,
mate.
it just wasn't Yao Yi's jump that was very impressive. It was his positioning before he made the jump. Very well placed kick from Peter Wallace, but Yao Yi had to go sideways a couple of metres before leaping into the ground. Where do they get the practice for that? Well, it's training. Every day at training they practice basketball skills. Now they're being displayed on the footy field.
Brisbane send their front row forward. Anderson back just beyond the 20-metre line. They lead 8-0, so the decision not to take the easy 2 with hindsight has proven right. Maguire will play the ball. He'll play it back to Hunt. We're coming to you today live on 9 from Suncorp in Brisbane. Gus mentioned they love their football on a Sunday afternoon. They don't get much Sunday afternoon football. This is their 13th game here. Manly's coaching box. Des came here knowing it was going to be hard. And as Gus pointed out, they were in there holding in at 0-0 for a long time. But right now Brisbane lead 8-0, and there's Robertson. He might have been off the ground when he was grabbed around the legs by Gillette, but the referee said no. Lyon is with the ball now. Jamie, who's in very, very good form. This is Farre, born in Rotorua. He's played junior Kiwis, but he's also played a Rive Alive Cup with Endeavour Sports, I think it is. So he might still have a decision to make about which nation he elects to play for. It's all very confusing. Matai plays the ball, and Ballon trips over the top of Parker, who wasn't really in the play of the ball or lying in the play of the ball. This is Oldfield. He puts a kick away. The bounce is favourable. And Beale it is that comes away towards the 30-metre line. And that's where he's tackled.
Just starting to look a little rough around the edges, Manly, aren't they? The frustration now, they're more than a try behind, and I guess wondering how they're going to get their points on the board with the lack of playmakers in their team. Probably a poor end of the set of 6 there is an example of that. Desi, he's had a tough week with his troops.
This is Hunt under the tackle, a 3-man tackle made up of Watmough, Rose and Ballon. And here's Lockyer going from dummy half, and when he runs from dummy half at this end of the ground, you obviously know that there's a space there, and he found a bit of it. This is the last of the chase from Brisbane. Good. Gillette will score. Matthew Gillette has scored for Brisbane. A ball that hung up there and hung up there.
Well, it hasn't been
put it down.
Awarded as yet. Sorry, Ray. We're going upstairs. I guess we'll check onside. And you'll see here Michael Robertson. He'll actually point to his teammates to contest the kick. And really, he was probably in the best position to do so. It's a nice kick from Peter Wallace. In fact, a couple this afternoon have deliberately just gone high enough for the chasers to arrive at the same time. He hasn't tried to kick it too high. Robertson pointing. Then,
yeah, I think what Maxwell was, Jared Maxwell put his hand up, and whether or not a defender has been impeded here, because Jack Reed goes up for it. The defender comes in and tackles him. Well, I don't think Jack Reed can disappear. I think whilst it looks awkward, I think it's all fair game.
Yeah, they've both gone for the football, the Brisbane players. The only thing that could have thrown things out was if one touched it into the other in front for a knock-on, but that did not happen. So Matt Gillette, who is playing in the left centre inside of Jack Reed, will get the third.
So it's a try. Brisbane another try at the 34th minute of the game. 12-0 in favour of the home side.
And they've been persistent with the kick into that little zone there. They've sort of brought it down between Robertson and his winger all the time, and Robinson's been getting across. And this is the first time that Robinson points and says, yours. Well, no one heard it because there was just Broncos there underneath it. And I love this kid, Gillette. I really like him. In fact, I like all these young Broncos. The thing I really admire is that they can all play in different positions. Beale, Reed, you know, these fellas, Glenn, Gillette, Teo. They can play centre, they can play back row, they can play 5'8" if they have to. They can play in the middle and mix it up. They can move to fullback, play on the wing. It doesn't worry them. They're also interchangeable.
Next Friday night, of course, we start the finals and a blockbuster. I guess the one that many of us have been waiting for. The Tigers up against the Dragons. Dragons, of course, put a nail in the Tigers' coffin last year, along with the Roosters. It's Tigers versus Dragons at 7:30 live next Friday night at ANZ Stadium in Sydney. And, of course, reminding me again, some people are saying that match as we watch this kick, and it's okay this time for Parker. So he adds a couple. It's 14-0 in favour of the home team. Some people are of the opinion, or they're publicising this match for Manly next weekend at Brookvale. I'm assured it's a football stadium venue, not Brookvale, against the Cowboys. Tonight on 9, the war is just beginning. Oh yeah, underbelly razor. The war is just beginning. Tonight at 8:30 on 9. Good show. Good show.
Oh, I'm all over it.
You've got to watch it in company, though. I got scared the first time I watched it, and I had to get the wife to come back down and watch it.
Get out the ruck. Oh.
I'm all over it.
Yeah, I know you.
Love it.
That's two. Track. Robinson.
It's Thigh Day now. I still haven't had an answer to a question that I asked civilly earlier. Here's McGuire. Why were you talking like an Englishman?
Third tackle.
It was a point of law. It was a point of rules. So I put on an English accent.
Westminster stuff, eh? Here's Lockyer and across Anderson. It went backwards and it's gone from Teo back to Lockyer. He's got forward play. Dempsey wants to have a look at something. But gee, it looks okay from where I saw it first time round.
Well, they're going to come right back to inside the Broncos half, where the ball goes to ground, and see whether or not
Of Anderson.
there was a knock on. But wowee, yow yee. This was brilliant at the back end of the play.
Well, you've worked on that. You have worked on that. Here's the incident you're talking about. Lockier's pass to Anderson. Does it go forward? I said it went back.
I think it's gone back. I don't think you can take it off them for that. I hope not, because the rest of this is brilliant. Here goes Yippee-Yo-Yo down the sideline, inside, outside, offload. That's brilliant. Yo-Yo gets up off the ground to come again. Let's have a look from high up. They're wondering whether or not this has gone forward. They can't rule on that one. May have floated forward. It's this one here, the touch on there. I think it's gone back. I think it's gone back.
I don't know. I've called it as going back. At worst, it's flat. At worst, it's on the lateral.
I think he's punched it back. I think it's come off his hand backwards.
The worst part about this, if it's disallowed, a lovely try will be lost from the archives.
Yeah, you can't. Please don't. Please don't take it off him.
Starting to put some points together here, Brisbane.
Yeah,
What's the benchmark we're hitting for? 43. No, he's knocked it back. Oh, jeez. He's knocked it back. That's good for Manly.
0.
Not good for the archives, but it's good for Manly.
Well, what a letdown.
You want to swap us?
Spoil sports.
Jeez, I've expended some energy too, working on that. I've nothing left at all for underbelly Razor.
Scrum, boys.
Well, they're just...
Scrum.
Okay. They're starting to warm up, the Bronx, aren't they? And Manly, I think, are getting the opinion, unless they can score next, they're going to lose touch with this contest.
Yeah, hang on a second, he's got to bring that back. He's got to bring that back.
Move your leg there. Stay there, Darren.
Just have a look.
Hang on, wait.
There might be no need to.
Corey, get in, come on. Get in. Get in right up there, Adam.
Jamie Buhrer feeding the scrum. Here we go. Look at there. That's
No, that was live. That was live. That wasn't a replay.
good.
Come on, get with me. Get with me, Penrith.
I love the way he put that in the scrum.
Looked different on that second replay, didn't it, Gus? Played then by Buhrer. Here's Williams down the left side. And big Tony Williams takes it towards the 20-metre line.
Big turning point here if Manly can score off the back of that, because they should have conceded try.
So this is Robinson, who played 18 away from the Brisbane line, playing it back for Ballon to go to Cherry Evans. He goes over to Michael Robertson, who just missed the shoulder of Gillette. And plays the ball, does Michael. Cherry Evans, he just puts it in there, and it's Beale who cleans it up, but Jamie Lyon has got him. With a minute and a half of the half to go. A special presentation tonight for you people in Queensland. Darren Lockyer, a lap of honour at 6:30, hosted by two of your favourite sons, Fatty Vaughton and Wally Lewis, taking control of prime time at 6:30 tonight. Darren Lockyer, a lap of honour. So here's Lockie with his kick. Down towards halfway. And Watmough goes back for Manly to the 30-metre line. His back row partner, Glenn Stewart, will be riding this match, and he'll be riding for the next few weeks, hoping, along with young Lussick, that they can get a shot at the big one. And here is Shane Rodney on the 10-metre line. Just a centimetre inside it, as a matter of fact. Ballon to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans goes over. Buhrer goes outside, inside, and Robertson is there. Cherry Evans hasn't missed a game this year. Big effort for a rookie. Here he is again. He turns it back now for George, and Rose it is that goes to ground. He and Buhrer played a bit of football together in that Sunshine Coast side. This ball has come back to Cherry Evans. He played at that ball. He's got his hand in the air saying that it's the last. Here's Matai getting a kick in. Oh, gee, that was ordinary ending. there was a player put a leg out here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but it's half-time at 14-0. But I thought a player from Brisbane played at the football. But it doesn't matter because Steve Maddai has kicked it into touch. So it's 14-0 at half-time in favour of the Broncos. It's a wonderful afternoon in Brisbane in front of a big crowd. Peter, Andrew and Wally will come back and have a look at the first half. You're watching Sunday Football live, and you're watching it for nothing on the home of finals football, Channel 9. And of course, the way things are at the moment, Manly will play the Cowboys on Saturday at 8:30 at the football stadium in Sydney. So Darren making his way out in the second half of his last regular season game. So at the moment, I say that because if Brisbane happen to pile on plenty of points here, they could take Manly out of 2, and they could go up to play the the Cowboys themselves. So that's just a little question mark at the moment. Newcastle will play Melbourne on Sunday at Amy. I might have suggested it might be Etihad, but I'm told it's Amy. And you people in Manly, that match is football stadium, not at Brookvale, no matter who you play.
I'm really keen to see how the Broncos handle this second 40 minutes. They were pretty ordinary last week against South Sydney. I made the excuse they may have had this week on their mind. But if I'm their coach, I want them to go right to the wire here and put Manly to the sword if at all possible.
Second halves, very similar. And that kick-off has gone dangerously close to the sideline. Tony Williams, and almost a collision there, causing a problem with Michael Oldfield. They've got out of it okay. Oldfield had his foot out, but Williams didn't.
Well, it was a great opportunity to get a penalty back on halfway if they'd have been maybe 1 foot on the outside and caught it.
I think they looked after Mr. Lockyer there.
Here's Rose.
I thought we won't get him penalised on his big day.
And taken down under the tackle there of Corey Parker and Alex Glenn. So Watmo comes away.
Game's changed then, Gus.
Certainly has.
Manly have led 15 times for 14 wins at halftime. Broncos 14 for 13. Their only loss when they've led at halftime this year, Broncos, was to Manly in round 12 when Manly played here at Suncorp, their home game. You might remember in Origin time when the Brisbane Broncos rested Lockyer and Fido. So here's a penalty going to Brisbane against the defenders, putting the man trying to play the ball back down on the ground. And again, it's Jamie Buren as Darren Lockyer finds the line on the eastern side. Peter.
Again, just the strength there of Matt Gillette. 3 players. They were almost justified in putting him down because of the effort they'd put in, but in the end, too long for the referee's liking as Thaiday on the 40.
Let him go. Let him go.
Buren and Williams making the tackle. And now for Parker. And Parker is met by Ballin and Robinson. And he'll play the ball 37 metres away. Not quite that. He was trying to get up and there was a hand on his back. Maybe he feigned that he was put down, Parker, on that occasion. Maguire is with the ball now. Lockyer trails him ahead. They're on the 20-metre line. Played by Maguire, played back to Hunt, gone on to Parker, now to Anderson. And Anderson has got Rose around his legs, and he's got up the top, Ballin, right side, blind side for Lockyer. He goes across the face of Thaiday, who miraculously finishes up with the ball, but it's gone forward.
Yeah, Ben Theo knocked on here. He was the intended receiver. I'm sure that it bounces off him into a Manly player into the arms of Thaiday. That dangerous right side attack. Lockyer straightening. Hits Theo. Out of Theo into Williams. Back to Thaiday.
Yeah, they all actually ran bad lines there. You can see what they were trying to do. Or Manly did really well in defence because they read it perfectly.
So Manly coming off their own 10-metre line. Wally, what's the story on Josh Hoffman now?
Well, as I just spoke to Alan Langer, he tells me that the docs just had a look at it. He believes that it's a posterior cruciate ligament. It could be 8 to 10 weeks. They're reserving their judgment until tomorrow where they're going to have further testing, but it does not look good at the moment.
It'll be a real blow, not only to the young player himself, but obviously a body blow to Brisbane as they embark on their 20th visit to the finals. Played by Ballon, Rose across the halfway line, and he'll play the ball, George, with Parker and Maguire making the tackle to the short side for Cherry Evans, and he goes very, very high. Getting underneath it is Beale. It's hit the upright. Manly have got a chance. That went back off them. They've still got a chance. It's Robertson with the ball. So Michael on the first. Ballon to Buhrer, and Buhrer is snapped down by Thaiday. Played quickly. Ballon inside Williams. They can't stop him. It's an impossibility. And Tony Williams scores for Manly.
Well, it all came back to a magnificent kick from Daly Cherry Evans. The big spiral bomb hit the upright. The chase was excellent from Michael Robertson. He was just behind the kicker. Poor Jared Beale had no chance. That rule to have been knocked back. Came off Gerald Yao. That was the 6 again. And we saw Tony Williams score a double against Melbourne last week. He's got one this afternoon.
Well, there you go. You got the feeling it was going to take something like that, but Manly gets some good fortune with a rebound off the upright. And big Tony Williams from close range barges his way over. Well done by the Manly boys.
And there you saw the value of an attacking kick if you're in the attacking zone. I do understand kicking into corners and forcing the opposition to start out of a bad part of the ground, but Daly Cherry Evans there, he put it up. It was a wonderful kick, and I'm sure he wasn't aiming for the upright, but it just happened to hit it, and all of a sudden they get points out of it.
Well, I've got this chance to say Happy Father's Day to all you people that are enjoying Father's Day. I think it's about 5 or 6 years since I've spent a Father's Day at home. And just watching over there up in Bay 332, young Sam McCurley, one of our really, really good friends. She's had operation upon operation. She's sitting up there next to her dad. There she is. The McCurley family. Remember, they used to travel down from Rockhampton, not only for operations, but also to watch her idol, Darren Lockyer, play football. And they moved to make it geographically more comfortable to Brighty Island. And here is the kick for goal. It's converted by Lyon. So Manly are on the board. Andrew Johns is also on the ball. Yes, mate.
Yeah, Manly coach Des Hasler was quite happy with his team at half-time. He praised them for their effort. Said that the Broncos scored 2 tries from kicks in the first half. And then it turned around. Look at this for a kick from Daly Cherry Evans. That's phenomenal. And then the ball went left, and yeah, plenty of space. Look at this thing. How are you going to stop him close to the line? They're back in it, Manly.
This is Robinson bringing it back to the 20-metre line. Des, was that a little bit happier, that picture we took of him? Play. The answer's no. Ballon is with the ball. He's out to the 40-metre line.
The answer is it could be.
Played then by Ballon, and now it's with Tony Williams again. And there's an example of trying to stop this, as Andrew said, this big thing, but he's a big human being, and Scott Anderson is not small. He put yourself in front of him, and here is Buhrer doing well. Here's Williams again. No look pass from Williams. No look pass. Maddie down the sideline goes Oldfield. Back into the middle. They go over and they score again. Cherry Evans is in for Manly. Well, I told you Brisbane have been beaten once when they've led at half-time this year. It was against Manly here at Suncorp. And right now it's got a little bit of a smell like that, hasn't it?
And it was really nice work here from that man, Daly Cherry Evans, who could have sold a dump to his outside support on this side after he got the offload. But he threw the dummy, and all of a sudden there was an overlap there, taken advantage of by Bura, Tony Williams, Steve Maddai, Oldfield, back to Daly Cherry Evans, who started it and got the football down.
Well, there he is, the Manly number 7, Daly Cherry Evans. As I told you, he had partnered Jamie Bura in the halves a few times, maybe half a dozen times, playing in a Queensland Cup side, but won it for Sunshine Coast. And that, of course, is a feeder club for Manly. So Jamie Lyon, 10 in, 20 out. It's on its way, and it's going the way.
That was pretty lazy defence there from the Broncos. The ball came infield, and the people over on the right-hand defence just stopped, and that allowed the space to create itself. And then a couple of little fancy no-look passes here. I don't like this stuff when it's not necessary. But they get the job done. And some really laziness there from the Broncos. Not a good sign for them.
Michael Robertson bringing it back to the 20-metre line.
And an ordinary restart there from the Broncos. A missed kick almost, and that allowed Robertson to bring it back outside the 20. And I thought that's the barrier. You get that first or second carry outside the 20, and away you go. And here goes Terence Siu. Easy meters up the middle.
Get on now!
Almost to the middle of the ground. Cherry Evans away to this left side where Williams is operating and creating some havoc. That's Matai with the ball. As McCulloch gets ready to come back into this game, and again Williams working overtime. Plays it 38 metres away. The last tackle, and Cherry Evans goes ridiculously high. Here it comes. It's gone to Matai. Matai to Oldfield, and Manly have scored another try. 45th, 47th. And now another try only 2 minutes later.
Well, we're just going upstairs to check that there was no Manly knock on here. And again, the kick was a beauty. It just turned it into a contest. And the chasers were there. It appears from first viewing that it was the Brisbane players who knocked on here. And on the replay, let's have a look at the chasers on the far side. Oh, Maddai, he might be offside, Maddai. He's on the 10-metre line or just over, and Daly Cherry Evans is just before it. Kick goes up. Ball bounces into Steve Maddai. Now, has Daly Cherry Evans been able to run him on in between the kick going up and the
that can place you
football?
onside is the man that kicks the ball.
Well, let's have a look at Daly Cherry Evans, because he might have done that.
Mind you, his front foot is suspended. It's his back foot is onside as far as I can see. But watch, his left foot is off the... Didn't they change this rule? Wasn't there a change made to this a couple of years ago? So let's watch Cherry Evans. Peter's trying to make the point, and it's a good point. The 7 can run them onside, nobody else. And Cherry Evans doesn't run him onside. So I'm just wondering what Stephen Clark is thinking in relation to Matai appearing to be centimetres offside at the kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure about front foot, back foot. I know.
You remember what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No try. No try.
Well, I guess that's fair enough, given the no try against the Broncos in the first half, for a marginal, I mean, you're talking inches, whether a ball travelled forward or backwards. If you're going to use those sort of measures, then you'd have to fall in the favour of the Broncos on that decision. But I'll tell you what, Broncos look like they've got lead in their boots. There's no energy from them whatsoever since the halftime break. They've lost their zing, their zang, their swagger.
This is Anderson with the ball. He's put down by Robinson. He looks like a goer, this fellow, Tim Robinson. Players almost in the middle of the ground. McCulloch says, can I play it? This fellow's hanging around my legs. See you it was. And this is Parker. So are the Broncos to get some zing and some zang and some swagger back into their game now? Here's Maguire. 25 metres out from the Manly line. It's gone from McCulloch and into the hands and then onto the boot of Wallace. He puts it across. It'll be too... Oh, no, it's bounced infield. It's bounced infield and crossed the line.
Good pressure there from Manly on tackle 5. He had to rush at Wallace, and it ended up being a poor kick. Said at half time, and I was really keen to see the Broncos go on with this in the second stanza. And this is very reminiscent of what they threw up last week against the Rabbitohs in the second half. And their coach was highly critical of them. You don't want this on the eve of the finals, I can tell you.
There's never been much between these two clubs. Whenever they've met, the coach, who was, I would imagine, comfortable at half-time. Not so now. Watmo's got rid of a heap of them. And now Mattai's taken high. Will he penalise? No. He's used discretion, I think is the best way to put it. Teo got it back in. Oh, Bureau's picked up and dumped. Anderson and Friday combining. Here's George. Up towards halfway. 32 times they've played. The Broncos have won one more than Manly. And at Suncorp again, Broncos have won one more. Here is Jamie Lyon now. He puts a kick neatly down into the corner, and it's picked up by Reid. I thought for a moment they were going to leave it for the fullback Beale, and that could have been really dangerous. This is Gillette, and they're back on their own line. They've got their backs to the wall. They're on the ropes.
And Manly are swarming too. Look at this. Up they come. Bang. They've got a little bit of a sniff here, the Seagulls.
Can you imagine what this, if they were able to translate this into a win, and maybe they don't have to win. I'm just suggesting, can you imagine what it'll do for their confidence? Given their situation, those headphones have lasted quite a long time, Des. Now, Lockyer's kick charge down. Beale has to scamper back urgently. CUC is the earliest chaser.
6 again signal. CUC turned his back, and that was enough for a charge down as Jared Beale almost gets through. Makes it to his 30.
He's out to the 30-metre line. Tackled by Robinson, and here's McCulloch. He looked at Lockyer, thought, no, not you. I'll go back here to Gillette. And Gillette will play the ball. Tackled by Jamie Lyon and by Cherry Evans. And here is Alex Glenn looking for an opening on the edge of the ruck, but it's not presenting. Broncos have won 6 premierships. Manly have won 7. Again, as I said, the closeness between these two clubs. They were the first opponents Brisbane had when they entered the comp in '88. And Anderson loses the ball. Advantage Manly, and it's with Morrow.
They're on tilt, the Broncos. They've lost it.
Robertson.
It's going to take some leadership here from Darren Lockyer to pull this back, because they are on tilt.
CUCU. Tackled by Anderson. Cherry Evans to Bureau, and Bureau sees an opening and he goes through it. He's over the 40-metre line to play at 33 out. Matai dummy half, and again they've got them stretched. Here's Oldfield, outnumbered, comes back to the centre. Bureau to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans will look to unload. He does that to Watmo. Watmo in ball. Morrow, now CUCU, and he will be taken to ground. 11 metres out from the Brisbane line. Played by Terrence CUCU. Here is Vic Morrow, and he'll play the ball 6 or 7 metres away from the Brisbane line. Played back to Terrence again, and now to Cherry Evans. He puts a kick in for Reid to take comfortably, and Reid is dashing back to the middle of the 20. Manly will struggle to get onside here. And I think that fellow Matai was onside.
He was the only one, Ray, the only one, and that's why he zeroed in very quickly. He did a great job. Let's have a look. He's over next near the referee and comes across field.
That's brilliant from Matai. That's a real heads-up team play.
That's a steal. It's a penalty against Manly for a rake in the tackle.
That play there from Matai is a bloke who really had his head switched on there. He thought, I'm the only one on side. That man's mine. Wherever he goes, I'm going to get him. That was tremendous. Might be the best thing I've ever seen him do. Brilliant.
Gillette, Brisbane, with Hannant, and now with Maguire. They are the operating props at the moment. Played back for McCulloch to ask a question before giving it to Hannant. And now McCulloch, dummy half, will go across to Maguire. They hit the arm that was carrying the ball. Thus the little bit of hesitation there. Played by Maguire. McCulloch to Lockyer. Lockyer behind Friday. Then Beale. Now it's out with Teo. And Teo will play the ball. 7 metres out. This is the last. Lockyer to kick. There it is. The left foot out. Not high. But up goes Jamie Lyon and marks it. So it's out to the 20 for the restart. Referee barking at Parker. Let him go. And so Jamie Lyon does that. And they come wide immediately to Cherry Evans, who then hunts back into the middle.
Yeah, there are a few men better in the air than Jamie Lyon as well, and that was his. He made it his own because the kick was a beauty. The chasers were all there. He's taken some of these over his head. This time he just got it on his chest and made it his own.
Rose playing the ball. 5 interchanges have been used by Griffin and Hasler. Williams over on that left side got a ball away, but it's gone into touch. You can see the Brisbane Broncos fans as the backdrop. They rose as one. Here's a break. Back in a moment. 14-10. Welcome back. Rugby League live on a Sunday afternoon from Brisbane Suncorp Stadium. The farewell match, regular season farewell for Darren Lockyer. It's attracted a crowd of about 53,000 people as Lockyer drifts across the ground. Then he straightens up his right foot, but he's taken down by CU and Moro. Played quickly. McCulloch goes short. Parker goes ahead. Runs into a strong tackle from Kite. Got it away to Beale. Beale finds an opening. Beale takes it down towards the 20-metre line. And Jared Beale to play it. McCulloch goes to the right side, away from Lockyer. Went back to Wallace. Went on to Friday. Gave it away to Teo. Teo stands, looks on his outside. He was nearly going to pass, but it was Matai calling for the ball. Now McCulloch inside the 10. And he has a go. He's got one earlier. He'll play this ball 2 metres out. This is the last. Wallace passes. Lockyer, no, he passes as well. Beale is in the back line. Beale has gone to ground. And it's changeover.
They got in his way there, Darren Lockyer, and he cursed himself for going with the short pass. The men on the outside rushed him. I think he needed a little bit more time. 1, 2, 3. So there was no kick. There was no long ball there. Coach screws up the face. Darren Lockyer punched the air. They just got in his way.
Watmoe with the carry. 25 out from his own line. Played back to CU, who passed back across the ruck. It brought a little groan from those in line with it. Played then by Rodney, given by Lyon. CU out at first receiver is hammered by Maguire up the top, and Parker was down around the legs. Now they're on their last tackle inside the 40, and Bura kicks down to Beale, and Beale knew the bounce wasn't going to be that comfortable, so he's taken it on the chest, and he comes back, and he's met by Kite and Bura. 33 metres out, down the middle of the ground.
And plenty of Brisbane players very slow to get back into the attacking line. It wasn't a wonderful set from Manly coming out from their own end. And the kick was relatively good field position. Here's Ben Teo coming in to help out. But
1 hour of the game gone. So we're 3/4 through it. It was all Brisbane. It was all Brisbane. And then the second half. And Manly have struck back. 14-10. They're trailing by 4. And here's Hannant now, taking it up towards the 30-metre line. Tigers and Dragons Friday night, 7:30 at Homebush at the Olympic Stadium. As Lockyer puts a kick up, this is high. Robertson again, safe. It's been wonderful today, Michael Robertson, but you've heard us say that a few times. Oldfield to play the ball now. 25 away, Brisbane are looking. They said he dropped this, and he gets the referee to agree. Whoops. So Brisbane will go on to a strong attack from here.
Yeah, in the context of this game, that's that could be a crucial one right there.
Boys. Bring it in, boys. Bring it in.
So tonight, 60 minutes. By the way, there's an interview, Michael Usher, with Mike Tyson tonight in 60 minutes. That'll be interesting. Whenever he is behind a microphone, Mike Tyson, something's bound to happen. Here is Lockyer. Crowd, of course, begging for him to get it across if he can. Now it's with Yao Yi, and Yao Yi is sort of through. But Williams has done a good job with Bura. Yao Yi's hurt. Giral is injured.
Yeah, he almost appeared out the other side and then got dragged back in.
All right, we've had 2 tackles.
He's okay to play it.
We've had 2.
Lockyer's a dummy half. It's time on. And they go back deep to Wallace, then to Hannant. I thought Wallace was on a runaround mission. But Hannant will play the ball. McCulloch looking at Lockyer. He's over to this side where Friday is with the ball now. And Friday will play it 2 meters out. 14-10 Brisbane leading Manly. But it's very much been a Manly second half. Now Wallace, and here is Beale. Beale will score. Gerard Beale scores for Brisbane in front of the fans at the northern end.
And they got the mistake they wanted down that end of the field from Michael Oldfield, and it's a rare miss in defence here from Jamie Lyon. Usually makes a bird of these, makes a decision to come in quickly and snuff out the attack. Goes in there, tries to go low on Beale, and Beale at fullback now. It's good enough to get over.
So from what we've heard from Wally Lewis this afternoon, it would seem that Gerard Beale, I don't know which way he wants that pronounced, but he better get used to wearing number 1, because the news on Josh Hoffman is not good. But I'll tell you what, he's fleet-footed, isn't he? He's evasive. There's somebody trying to get on in running. We can't take any more. We've got too much money invested on the Broncos, Gus, so knock that back with it. Here's the attempted conversion from Parker, and he's offline again, called. Wally sideline.
Well, that was a poor choice from the Seagulls. The Keno replay will show that they only had 4 defenders on this side of the post. Jamie Lyon, they could either slide and try and push the Broncos attack wider. He chose the first one to just simply sprint up out of the line and try and make sure that there was some pressure placed on the ball carrier. It didn't work.
Wayne Bennett watching on in a relaxed state. Oh, Ben Hannant has taken what looked like it might have been a high shot, but the referees were looking at it. It was CUCU that got a shot on him, but it's now with Brent Kite, and CUCU managed, of course, to get the ball jolted free, so Manly immediately go on the attack. Cherry Evans comes across, he got a decoy from one of the runners. Robertson gave it back to Jamie Lyon, and McCulloch came out of the line. Lyon knows a quick play, the ball is required. CUCU to Morrow. Morrow is about 3 meters out from the line. Down at the Milton end of the ground. It's gone across now to Buell, and he's hammered over there. Absolutely invaded by Broncos. Played 10 away from the line. Cherry Evans in ball. Watmo running it at Hannant it was. And now it's come back, and it's with Robertson. And Robertson has got nowhere to go. The Brisbane defence compressed, and 3 of them put him away. Last tackle now for Manly. Cherry Evans, he's the man. Here's the ball. Gone away to Rodney. Bounces across then. And it is out here with Williams. And not out yet. In fact, it's not Williams, but Faray. And into touch.
Yeah, a lot more urgency now from the Broncos. They went through a real flat patch there the first 15-20 minutes of this second half, but the last 7 or 8 minutes hasn't been too bad. And I'm really impressed with Manly today. They've been terrific. Even early on, when things weren't going their way, there was a resilience in their defence. A couple of tries after half-time has emotionally kept them in the contest.
That was a super job from Terence CUC to
tried to do it again, Pete, right there.
And Ben Hannant, yeah, he was upping the ante and just couldn't take advantage of it as the Broncos now work it out. Second man behind Friday to Maguire.
And Josh will play the ball on his own 20-metre line.
Get up, Jamie, now!
So Maguire playing it down on his own 20-metre line. It's 18-10 in favour of the Broncos. And, of course, light starting to leave us as we come to you live from Suncorp in front of a capacity crowd. Parker takes it ahead. Crowd, when I say capacity, it's 50,500 that is in here today. That kick from Lockyer is sitting down. Farre, and he is taken to ground by Gillette, but it was a good effort by the young fellow. Called into the side lane to replace William Hopewadi. Here's Jamie Lyon with the ball now.
And that's why we said earlier today that there are few players better at defending a lead.
Oh! Friday has upended Kite.
Whoops.
Did he put him in a dangerous spot? Jared Maxwell didn't hesitate.
Whoops.
To blow the whistle. Sam Friday is the tackler. Brent Kite is the tackled.
It's gone horribly wrong for him. I don't think there was any intention to do this. It was just going to be a good driving tackle, but it ends up ugly. Gee whiz. You don't want that on the eve of the finals. His heart will be racing, Sam Thaiday.
Well, the answer to my question is quite obvious.
Yeah, I agree. He was getting him into a classic position to put him on his back, but he just went too far, and the twist from Brent Kite got him into an awful spot.
I'm not going to debate it, mate. I'll report.
Sam Thaiday is on report.
Well, there's your headlines for the next 3 to 4 days as they try to sort through that. Gee whiz.
No penalties here. No
An
penalties.
instant can change a season. A split second can change a season.
Hoffman is out injured. We're talking 6 and 8 weeks, so that's the end of his season. And now we're talking Sam Thaiday on report for placing a player in a dangerous position in tackling him. Brent Kite taken from the field.
I don't think there's any intention there from Thaiday. He plays the game hard, but that just went wrong. It went wrong for him, unfortunately. And they're pretty harsh on that.
So it's a free change for Manly. And they're 8 behind with under 12 to go. Cherry Evans to Morrow. And Vic is tackled. He's a cousin of one of our producers, Louise.
He's lost that.
He's put this down. This is a knock-on here. Is he still our cousin?
Well, we've got a penalty here for throwing the ball away. He almost looked disorientated when he got up there and played sideways, and then the ball's on the ground and the ball disappeared.
Oh, cousin Vic didn't know where he was.
Cousin Vic.
He gets up and he goes to play. Says, I'm in the wrong direction here. I better turn around and go that way. He was all over the place. He was facing east-west. The field runs north-south. Cousin Vic's had a shocker. Louise, what are we going to do with him?
Cousin Vic, he's a cousin of Louise Macri, who told me at half-time that Vic's her cousin. I thought I'd better give him a little rap and give the family a rap, and then poor old Vic has basically gone belly up.
He made the mistake with precision. I like that.
Here's Hannett with the ball. Brisbane are 10 out. They're right in front of the uprights. McCulloch gets it away, and here is Parker. And he's got an arm free. He was still trying to get... Now he loses the ball. It'll be a steal. It's a steal. Maxwell wants what, Mo?
Yeah, let's have a listen to this. I'll be interested in this.
That's obvious, mate. No way. Last thing I'm going to talk to you about, they're talking to me like that, okay? You get into him, otherwise that's where he's going to go.
He's trying to offload.
Yeah, Jamie Lyon's saying he's trying to offload the ball, and you even said it, Rabbits, that he was looking to get it free.
All right, there you go.
And then he gets it taken from him. He drops that. That's ball security for mine.
So it wasn't what Mo that Maxwell was referring to. It was see you. So Hannant plays it close to the line. Parker, Wallace. Oh, that pass looked dubious to Maguire. And Maguire is a metre from the line. Lockyer spins it away to McCulloch, light on his feet. He played the ball 5 out, and Lockyer has basically changed places with McCulloch. Here's Lockyer going away to Thaiday. Thaiday close to the line, drops it back. It's come back to Maguire, and Maguire is again looking at the try line. Held up in goal, is he? Yes.
On 4.
On the 4th.
Well, they're gritty, Manly, if nothing else. They've made a couple of errors that have put them under pressure, but they're not going to give it away meekly, are they?
Play with your foot, Josh. Yep.
So here's Lockyer again, and now to Wallace, and they give it along the line, and Big Ben Hammond is out there. 5 gone now for Brisbane, played back to Beale, then to Wallace, a little kick, Thaidays there, Thaiday, oh, he had it, he was going to grab with it, and he lost the ball, and it comes out to the 20 for the restart.
Can you believe that? Perfectly placed kick from Wallace, he's got it, and he spilled his lollies when he was about to write his name on the scorer's sheet.
I think Tio might have knocked it out of his hands.
Might have got a finger, he did too.
Might have hit it with that big guard he's wearing on his arm. Manly taking it back. Special presentation tonight for Queensland viewers at 6:30. Here is Rodney with the ball. He's able to get the ball away. Cherry Evans, the 7, taken by the 7. And Cherry Evans plays the ball. And it's with Watmo. And he goes ahead towards halfway before finding Bura. With Paul Vorton and Wally Lewis, of course. Darren Lockyer, a lap of honour at 6:30 on QTQ9 and Queensland tonight. 40-metre line for Brisbane. Comes away. Cherry Evans puts a fend up. He's taken away by Tio. A kick goes in from Rodney. Down over the head of Reed. To be played out. He brings it back. He'll get back 10, maybe 15. Comes to the tackle of Rodney and Jamie Long.
He's a clever player, don't he, Cherry Evans? He never gets flustered when he's in trouble. He makes that tackle there. He made a really good one on Ben Hannon at the other end of the field not that long ago, but he popped the pass away there and went to the right man. Last tackle, he knew he had to pass.
Beale again. He's been good, Beale, today. Lockyer back to Parker. Parker taken to ground by Cherry Evans. And down low was Morrow. And here's McCulloch. Again, piercing the opposition. Taunting them out of dummy half. Playing it this time to Parker. Right side play. Lockyer, left foot kick. See you. Attempted charge down. Down to Robertson. Safe as they come. And he'll play the ball 7 out from his own line. 7 minutes to go for Brisbane. The coach feeling much more comfortable at 18-10. Rose on the end of a shoulder charge. Plays the ball inside 20. Bura comes away. He's done okay, the kid, the 21-year-old. Filling in at 5'8" for Kieran Foran. Shoulder charge from Yao Yi it was on George. Now away from Matai. Finding Farre. He's on the 30-metre line. And he's put away. Tackled and held down by Glenn. Has a little look at the referee to see how long I've got, basically. Now it's with Rodney. We get down real close at times. And now it's Cherry Evans who clears. And it's a good kick. I thought for a moment it was going on the full, but he really measured the line. And it's Reed who brings it back. And he'll play the ball on the 30-metre line. Gillette to the 40. I was reading with interest Paul Gallen's column this morning, the New South Wales captain. He's forecasting Brisbane will play the grand final and win the grand final. Just wonder, with circumstances that have unfolded today, whether Gall might have another go at that. Here's Parker now. Corey's taken by Jamie Lyon. McCulloch goes to the middle. Wallace looks to kick. Puts it up now. Underneath it over there. Oldfield, but Yee is there as well. Knocked backwards, was it? No, he said knock forward. And he's ordering changeover.
Well, I think the whole complexion has changed about the Brisbane Broncos. 50,859, the crowd. That's a beauty. Probably on a normal last game of the year that didn't mean too much. Manly playing Brisbane, you'd have got to about 25. 25,000, so 25,000 extra have come to watch Lockyer's last game. And when the ratings come out tomorrow, a big TV audience, I'm predicting as well.
This has been knocked back by Brisbane, so it's play on.
He'll have some sleepless nights, Sam Thaiday, won't he? That's going to be the headlines for the next 3 days, is what happens to him so far as charges, judiciaries, and any sort of suspension out of that incident. And I've got to say, other than probably about 20 minutes in the first half, the Broncos not as impressive as I would have liked today.
Oh, strong hit there by Farah. He came in, he channeled in, he knew he was a bit like a shag in the rock. He had to come in and do it. Now Lockyer got the ball away to Gillette. And on that very subject you're talking about, here's Gillette struggling out of Robinson's tackle and eventually put away by Lyon. Playing it back to Reid. Reid on to Parker. Parker a handoff to Lockyer. Lockyer will play it. 8 metres out. And McCulloch's kick hit the feet of Cherry Evans. He's restarted the tackle count. And McCulloch plays it to Lockyer. Lockyer to Wallace. Wallace to Maguire. And Maguire is held. I think it was Ricky Stewart writing a column today saying, why do we have to wait so long and have all of the wrong headlines for so long? Here is Thaiday, and it's gone to ground off Tio.
They're getting a bit scrappy now with the Broncos, a match-winning lead going into the last couple of minutes, and Daly Cherry Evans giving them an extra set. I'm not a fan of charge downs on kicks, and I'm not a fan of putting the leg out to try and stop grubbers. Rarely works your way. I think you're better off putting faith in the men to get back and save the day. There it is there, deliberately played at by the number 7. And consecutive sets in this game, well, they're everything.
What's the trainer's name?
Well, we used to make it a rule. I think Wayne Bennett makes it a rule with his team too. You don't put your foot out. You leave it to the people that are employed to field the kicks.
You pack it in?
Your job's to knock the man down with the ball. It can only go wrong from there. Sticking your foot out.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Don't forget, next Friday night, the start of the finals, and you'll see them live and exclusive on 9. Tigers and Dragons, you couldn't hope to bring together two opponents like these two. Arch rivals. Don't forget what the Tigers might still be thinking about. Their end to last year narrowly to the Roosters and the Dragons. So it will be undoubtedly a blockbuster. Friday at 7:30 live. That man in charge of the Dragons. Up against Tim Sheens. The wily old fox in charge of the Tigers. Here was Tony Williams. And he got rid of our guest of honour. Got rid of him nicely. Played over there by Tony. Maddai goes to see you. He runs towards the blind. Comes away. Gets it to Williams. Williams away. Ballin's got it on. Cherry Evans is with the ball. Not quite sure what to do. Anderson came out of the line. Yao Yi takes him and rides him into the ground. So don't forget your Queensland viewers, lap of honour at 6:30 tonight with Fatty and Wally. And here's Reid with the ball now.
Well, Manly can take a lot of that out of this, can't they? They've been really spirited. Down on troops, a late penalty here to the Broncos gives them the chance of a grandstand finish. I think Des Hasler will be really happy with the way his side's competed.
That crowd today, by the way, of just in excess of 50,800 is a ground, or should I say a home ground record crowd for Brisbane. During their time in the competition, I guess that figure is based on 24 seasons later. And this is Gillette with the ball, 35 away from his line, or from the Manly line. Here's Wallace looking and swerving. Only a minute to go in the game, so Brisbane are safe. It's 18-10. Wallace long, Thaiday kicks, looking for Yao Yi, who is sprinting, and it's put dead over there by Oldfield. So I just wonder how much more we're going to see. 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, we might see a kick, maybe one tackle. Manly won't be in any hurry to get this back into play. Oh, I give Manly 9 out of 10 for effort today. Broncos, I don't know, can't make up my mind. Some of it was good, some of it wasn't, and nowhere near as dominant as I thought it could have been.
Let's go. Come on, he's got to kick it. Come on.
Hodges to come back next week, those are bonus. What happens with Friday? Who knows?
So there it is, the siren in the background. Darren has led the Broncos to a victory in their final regular season game of 2011. They go to the finals, officially team number 3, for the 20th time in 24 seasons, and the first visit back to the top 4 since they won the competition in 2006. Manly brave, Manly gallant, and I'm sure what Phil Gould just said will apply to Des Hasler. He couldn't be, I wouldn't imagine, any happier than what he was presented with today by his 17-man roster. So it is now confirmed that Brisbane will meet the Warriors